Hi, everyone. Pastor Brenda. Conversations are what we do at Larger Story Church. We are a church that meets through Zoom on purpose so that all of us can be part of this conversation. We talk about the Bible, we talk through the Bible teaching, and we talk about culture and what we can do in our culture. So we have a video coming up of part of our conversations from Friday night. Enjoy what we do, and we'd love for you guys to join us on a Friday night to be a part of such conversations like this. This is a church that you can talk in. See ya.
John and I have a very strong relationship with the word no, because he believes he can do all things.
The other side of that is I never say no. And that gets me in really deep trouble because I mean yes. So I say yes. But then 5 minutes later, I realize there's no way I can do that. I don't have time for that. It's not going to happen.
You had to kind of give him time to think about it, blah, blah, blah. So his no's were always yeses if you gave him enough time and convinced him of it. So personally, I don't even almost hear no's sometimes. And I do things, I'm kind of like John. I don't take on too much, but I just think no's mean eventual yeses.
My reaction to what Steve said is I do that with my kids. I say no automatically. Almost automatically, I say no to, can I get on the Xbox? Can I play a game on the computer? Can I get on my tablet? Can I go outside right now? Everything is no, because I have to process what they're asking me to do. So I say no because I need that minute to go, wait, do we have time for them to go outside right now? Like my brain just takes a little longer, I think, to process what they were asking if they could do. And then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you can do that.
When you hear no, do you associate that with not being loved anymore?
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to associate it. But I think a lot of that is my self-esteem. And I'm still growing. And I've learned that that's not what that means, because I'm learning to say no, because I'm a pleaser by nature. So I want to help and I want to do everything for everybody. But I'm learning that it's better to say no, and people respect you more when you're up front and I'm not as stressed out.
You can just shake your head yes or no. When I say no to you, do you feel less loved?
No.
Okay.
I was just nodding my head a lot because I understand it a lot, because I knew you were gonna say that about, because you would always say no right away.
When you guys say no to me, I know you still love me. You have the freedom to say no when I ask you to do something for this church. I understand. We're there. So just a little bit about boundaries. This could be weeks of conversation, actually, and Dr. Henry Cloud is famous for this conversation, and probably why he's one of my influencers. Is that boundaries provide safety, but also they do much more. When relationships are boundaried, that's when they grow. That's when they flourish.
There's a great deal of maturity needed to understand your definition of boundaries in the first place. And the majority of the people aren't anywhere close to that. Majority of people think, in my estimation, that boundaries are to hurt you instead of helping you. And so because of the me society, again, I don't want any boundaries at all.
I literally just listened to a podcast about this today. So it was actually about, and it was a conversation with an expert about reframing your point of view so that you can have more happy thoughts and fewer angry thoughts. And so he gave 3 very specific examples. Like his 3 tools are, he frames it as a joke, like how am I going to make people laugh with this crazy situation later on? He frames it as like, when I'm telling my grandchildren 40 years from now, how do I want them to perceive that I handled this obstacle? Do I want them to perceive that I handled it with grace and forgiveness and whatever? And then he also plays this silly game where it's like the gods of stoicism, these, silly little gods putting tests in front of his way. And so he, looks at it almost as a game. But, we Christians have this fourth framework, this fourth tool that he didn't talk about. And that is that tool of forgiveness. If you can frame it as forgiving another person and just them being human and making a human mistake, or not noticing how they're upsetting you or inconveniencing you or whatever, that's another way that we can push aside those thoughts of anger and, resentment and all of that.
Talked about in 1 Corinthians 12 and 14. I was studying that. I found this verse in verse 20. It says, dear brothers and sisters, don't be childish in your understanding of these things. Be innocent as babies when it comes to evil, but be mature in understanding matters of this kind.